Hey folks, this is Rhykker, and if Diablo 4's 2025 roadmap didn't excite you, what kind of roadmap would have? That's a question that I set out to answer in this video, because for a while, before the roadmap was revealed, people were asking me, what would you like to see on the roadmap? What do you hope to see on the roadmap? And I was trying not to get my expectations too high. Now we got the roadmap. A lot of people weren't particularly impressed. I think my interview with Brent Gibson really helped flesh it out and give us some more detail. But even then, I think if the objective was for the roadmap to excite and energize the player base, we needed something different. So I present here to you folks the roadmap that would have gotten me excited. Bam! Right here. Now I'll dive into explaining this roadmap, but before that, a reminder that Season 8 of Diablo 4 launches April 29th. You can expect me to have guide videos covering the new season, and if you want to get caught up on what the season theme is and all about, you can find all of my videos categorized on my website, Rhykker.com. Which takes us to a word from this video's sponsor, Squarespace. I built my website using Squarespace, and I was able to do everything myself quickly and easily and with zero education in the field, all thanks to how easy Squarespace is to work with. Squarespace has a new AI tool called Design Intelligence, which combines 2 decades of industry-leading web design expertise with the latest AI tech to empower you to build a beautiful-looking, personalized website made exactly for your needs and your unique identity. Squarespace even has optimized SEO tools so that you can launch your website and start getting views as quickly as possible. Squarespace is flexible for any kind of website with tons of design options to pick from. You can easily connect all your social accounts and also upload your video content and organize your video library. You can sell products or services, and with Squarespace Payment, you have an easy way to manage your payments in one place. You're just a few clicks away from being able to receive payments through your website, all while offering customers popular payment methods like Apple Pay, ClearPay, Klarna, and ACH Direct Debit. Basically, if you want to build a website, I recommend Squarespace. So head to squarespace.com/Rhykker or click the link in the description to start your free trial and use code Rhykker to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/RHYKKER and use code Rhykker. All right, back to the roadmap. Let's take a look again at the roadmap that we got and address what some of the major issues with it were. And the first thing is you're seeing a lot of repeats. Witchcraft powers, boss powers, Horadric powers, chaos powers. Quest and reputation board, quest and reputation board, quest and reputation board, quest and reputation board. It's a little bit of a read the room where recently there's been a lot of talk about how seasons have been feeling formulaic, where it's blank powers and quest and reputation board, and we basically got confirmation to continue to expect this for all eternity. Similarly with the pet, Earnable Raven Pet, we were super excited when that happened, but then just to see it laid out season after season, Earnable Pet, Earnable Pet, Earnable Pet, it's not very exciting when things just kind of become predictable. Again, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not going to be something that's going to excite and energize people. Similarly, IP collab, okay. I mean, either you're someone who is a fan of the other IP, in which case it's awesome, or more likely than not, you're not a fan of the IP, in which case it's kind of whatever, who cares. So for instance, the Berserk collab, which was revealed, right? The collab happening in Season 8, it's with Berserk. I hear great things about Berserk. I've never read a manga in my life. I have very little idea of what Berserk is. I'm happy for the fans of Berserk that they're getting this. To me, it means nothing, and that's fine, but it's just difficult to get excited about things that don't mean anything to me. Other than that, seeing leaderboards all the way in 2026. People have been asking for leaderboards since launch, knowing it's going to be another year that you got to wait to get leaderboards. For those competitive gamers who are really looking forward to that or needing that to really get hooked on D4, that's basically saying, yeah, you can put the game away for another year. And we should stress again, though, however, that this roadmap is not everything that they're doing. It's just everything that they were at liberty to reveal. We've gotten assurances that there is more coming, and I kind of worked some of those more things into my revised roadmap here, which is just going to cover Season 9 and onward. We're not touching the season that's already coming out. So starting with Sins of the Horadrim, first thing that I'm changing, we're not getting powers anymore. We're still getting borrowed power in a sense, but now, the Sins of the Horadrim, we are getting Horadric allies. Infernal Chaos, we are getting Chaos Pacts. Right away, this breaks up the monotony of powers, and we're thinking, oh, what could this mean? So, Horadric allies, we're getting rid of Quest and Reputation Board, that is a given, no need to repeat it ad nauseum. Hero Collector and Ally Progression. So, what could this be? you know, if you've played like Raid Shadow Legends, and I'll admit, again, people don't believe me because I did sponsored stuff for them a million years ago. I literally got hooked on that game for like a year. It's embarrassing. It happened. It's a thing. There is some fun element to it. So, Horadric allies. They add a bunch of allies in the game that you can kind of collect, and you then select, you know, a subset of them. They have their own little progression systems. Obviously, you don't do something as full and robust as one of these hero collector games, but you do a mini version of it, right? And why? That ties into stronghold defense. Okay, so the activity, we have all these strongholds in the game. Let's reuse them. Okay, sometimes they're going to get invaded. It's like a tower defense game. Hordes of enemies are going to be coming in from different directions, and you are going to take your Horadric allies and use them as little towers. Okay, you get like a 1-minute warning, and then you have time to set up your towers, right? So, okay, take Emilio, set him up at the entrance there, put this guy here, whatever. You can do it in a party as well, so you have yourself and your teammates also going around killing the enemies, but you got to stop, you know, the stronghold from getting overrun, whatever. Big picture idea. The key here is that it's a substantially different kind of gameplay, something highly experimental. That's why we're putting it in the non-permanent edition, because if people hate it, you never bring it back again, right? If it's a failure. But you tried something crazy and zany, and you tried a big idea. Then, instead of earnable pet, earnable clan decorations. Wait a minute, how are we getting clan decorations now? Well, that ties into the permanent edition down here, clan housing. Yes, add clan housing into the game. That's a feature that will excite people. You know, make it player housing and clan housing if you want. For anyone who's going to complain, I don't like to play with clans, guess what? You can make a clan that's just yourself, and then you have a clan housing that's your personal housing. Done. Then, because this is the season of the Horadrim, we add the Horadric Cube as a permanent addition. Don't even have to explain what it does. The Horadric Cube. That's going to get people excited. Another permanent addition, we got Sorcerer Reborn. Okay, so they added the Spiritborn, right, with Vessel of Hatred. The Spiritborn, in my opinion, is the best designed of all the classes from a mechanics standpoint. It is clearly informed by the next year of development that D4 had post-launch. I would love to see every class get an update to get that Spiritborn treatment. We don't have to fully redo the classes, but there's some love that could be given. So I think every season, one, if not two classes going forward should get the Spiritborn Reborn treatment. Then we're also going to get some events during the season. Midsummer Madness, and we got Team PvP Arena. All right, let's start with the Team Arena. Not everyone likes PvP. Most people don't. That's why it's not the only event, but it's there for people who are interested. It's limited time, so a lot of people will try it, even if they're not super into PvP. Hey, Team PvP Arena, let's give it a go. And again, if it's received well, maybe you make it a permanent edition. Otherwise, hey, we just did this silly event. It was to test it. It's just for the lulz. Got people to log in, you know, in the middle of a season or whenever. This is different from the open PvP zones, right? It's going to be some structured arena. But again, if you don't even want to bother trying it, we also have the Midsummer Madness event. And I think just in general, the holiday events ought to have a complete new approach taken to them that makes them more engaging to play. And that's why I'm not just taking the same old names of the past events, rename them, rebrand them. For instance, in the next season, we're calling it Halloween Hell. Whatever, call it something different from what we've had before, something that's going to, again, make people think, oh, this is different, it's not the same, so let me get excited and hype about it. Taking us into Season 10, Infernal Chaos. Instead of Chaos Powers, they are Chaos Pacts. Ooh, what's a pact? Well, these are specialty classes and skill trees. Maybe there's a certain number of them. Maybe there's like 7 classes, one for each of the deadly sins. I don't know. Maybe you have the Pact of Avarice, the Pact of Wrath, whatever. Or you can have every class have, let's say, 2 specialty classes, 2 different pacts that they can take. A bit more of a personalized experience. And instead of it being the kind of same powers that we get, where you slot in a big one and a couple of small ones and you level them up progressively, make it an actual, like, just a full-on new skill tree. Why? Because this is Skill Tree Reborn under permanent editions here. Again, we're kind of getting synergy in the bigger themes. And this Skill Tree Reborn ties into what Adam Fletcher said on Twitter. He said that they're taking a look at the skill tree. So, you know, put that on the roadmap. That would have excited people. Going back up to the season, though, Descent to Hell roguelite. Okay, so this is a new kind of activity that isn't the same kind of recolored Helltide that people complain about, right? We're getting an actual roguelite. Maybe the progression of your specialty classes is tied to this roguelite. So you're going down a dungeon deeper, every few levels you're getting randomized new things, like a Hades, whatever popular roguelite games out there. And the continued progression for whenever your run fails, because eventually your run is destined to fail as it gets harder and harder, you come away with chaos points that you use to level up your chaos skill tree, whatever. Don't get too caught up in the details of these things, right? I haven't put a ton of thought into it. The idea is just big picture. What is something that is new, fresh, exciting, different to excite people about? Then we have earnable skill cosmetics. That's a new thing. We don't have skill cosmetics. Other games have skill cosmetics. Imagine that you're able to shoot, whatever skill and have it recolored or reskinned in a different way. So your fire tornadoes as a barbarian can now look like ice tornadoes. Maybe your druid werewolf form can now look like a were-tiger form. Then we've got, as a limited time event, a battle royale. Path of Exile did this as a joke, as an April Fool's joke. They built an entire battle royale, put it into the game, and it was actually pretty successful. People liked it. Again, a limited time event. If it's not well received, whatever. It's fine. It's okay to try things. PoE did it just as a joke. And again, for those who want nothing to do with PvP, you got the Halloween Hell event, which is a bigger, better, upgraded Halloween event. Then we address one of the big questions, endgame, new endgame expansion. Call it an expansion because we're adding a whole new system here. This is what I've personally been referring to as a meta progression system. Add some new endgame that adds more context to what we're doing, more meaning. Give us something to chase in the end beyond just getting our gear and our power to be better. Give us a reason for that to matter. I'm probably going to make an entire separate video on my ideal endgame meta progression system. But again, Adam Fletcher did hint at endgame being something that they are looking at. I don't know if it's going to be an entire new endgame expansion, but the skill tree and endgame, those were two things mentioned outside of the roadmap that I think would have really benefited from being on the roadmap. Then we got Druid Reborn, and then we got leaderboards as well. Again, a year is too long to wait for leaderboards. The sooner we can bring that in, the better. Maybe Season 9 is too early, but if we can get it in for Season 10, I think that would energize people a bit more. And then for 2026, then you just put on crazy aspirational big things. So now we got new expansion, of course, but now we got live invasion system. What is that? Think Helldivers. All right, Helldivers has a system where you control different planets, right? So everyone's on the same team, humans, and there are different alien factions that could come and invade different planets, different territories that you control. So how does that translate into Diablo? Hell invasions, you can even make it heavenly invasions sometimes, make angels invade, whatever, different factions. There's little narrative beats to this. Make it storied. Don't make it just, random inconsequential nonsense. You have stories for the season themes, or every season has its own class, quest line. Give a sort of meta narrative to what's going on in the world of Sanctuary. Imagine one day out of the blue, Kyovashad is being invaded by the forces of hell. Whoa. There's some kind of a timeline on this. Players collectively as a community need to log in and do something to fight off this invasion. If the goal is achieved, then some benefit to the player base. Again, Helldivers just does this so well. If collectively the goal is not achieved, then some consequence. Maybe for a while, Kyovashad won't even exist as a town hub anymore. Maybe it's going to be an overrun zone full of monsters. And then we gotta go fight back and get Kyovashad back. Then here we have Darkening of Tristram. So, just seeing that would get me hyped. Darkening of Tristram was an event in Diablo 3 where it was bringing Diablo 1 into Diablo 3. That could be done in Diablo 4 in so many other ways. So just seeing that on the board would get me hype. I would expect it to come in January as well, because that's when the Darkening of Tristram is in Diablo 3. And then lastly, ship combat. Well, I suspect that we're going to the Western continent in the next expansion, meaning we're going to have to take a ship to get there. So imagine, just like in Lost Ark, you actually have a ship. This becomes a mechanic in the game where it doesn't have to be a big thing, but in the same way that you have a horse, you can have a ship. You can add some light mechanics to it. You can add a little bit of ship travel, maybe some exploration elements, maybe ship-to-ship combat with pirate ships, whatever the case. The idea here is to just slap around some sexy big new features. Is this an overly ambitious roadmap? Yeah, probably. But I think, I don't know, even if I saw half of what I have on here, I think I would have been more hype. But I turn the question to you folks. Maybe my ideas are garbage. What would get you hype in a roadmap? Do you like this revised roadmap? Do you not like it? What do you or do you not like about it? What would you like to see? Sound off in the comments, folks. Because that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, share it, see what other people think of this roadmap, and subscribe to join Rhykker's Raiders for more Diablo content.